Fragrances that are perfect for the office. As always, we got unisex, masculine, and feminine, and I'll put the discount link for all of these in the comments section below. But we're gonna start with a feminine fragrance here called Heures d'Absence by Louis Vuitton. And this is just like a luxurious, soapy, clean fragrance. Honestly, here's what I picture. You're taking the most bougie bath of your life, and then it's filled with rose petals and jasmine petals. That is pretty much what Heures d'Absence smells like. And this is gorgeous. Now, this is actually my sister's signature scent, and she's going through this bottle. But every single time she wears this, it's like this clean, professional, luxurious, rich type of fragrance. Now, to her, she goes nose blind to this maybe after a couple hours or so, but I still smell this on her past 6 hours. So this is something that also has a pretty nice scent trail just in the beginning when you're first wearing it, but then it tends to stay a bit closer to your skin. But overall, gorgeous, gorgeous scent. Next up, we've got a more masculine fragrance here called Visionaire by Michael Malol. I think it's Visionaire Midnight Blue. Now, I first tried this one yesterday, and the reason it's in this video isn't because it's the best office fragrance, but because it really suits this whole entire topic. Now, the first time that I smelled this, the best way, like the best situation that I would see this fragrance in is in a professional type of setting. Like, let's say you're dressed up in a suit, a button up, and you just want a nice, clean, easygoing fragrance. You will get it with this scent. Now, this one is a bit fruity, citrusy. Like, you get some watermelon. I think there's some bergamot in here as well. And there's some musk in the dry down. However, it is a little bit on the synthetic side. And it's not really much of a bother, to be completely honest. There are a lot of synthetic fragrances that I've tried that are automatic no's. But this is something that if you get it for your friend, you get it for your brother, your significant other, like whoever, your cousin, I think that they would like this. Let's say they just graduated college or they're doing an internship and they're at their first desk job. You're like, you know what? What's a good kind of fragrance I can give them for that situation? And I think that they will like this. Just don't overspray it. But it is really, really nice. Now, I will say that this fragrance kind of reminded me of Ferris by Kajal Perfumes. A little bit more on the synthetic side of Ferris, but I think this is like 110. So this is pretty much $100 cheaper than that fragrance is. But just your typical classic modern day masculine type of scent in a bottle. Next up, we've got a unisex fragrance here called Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. And I love this fragrance. It's very smart. It's one of those scents that when you're just sitting down, not really being that active, it stays very close to your scent bubble. In fact, you might not be able to pick it up on yourself. But the second you get active, the second you go out, you're in the sun, doing whatever, then this starts to project, which makes it the perfect office fragrance because it's not gonna piss anybody off. Now, what does it smell like? It's an ISO E-Super fragrance, so it enhances your skin chemistry. So this varies from person to person. The way it smells on me is going to smell very different than the way it will be on you. And that's just the beauty of this fragrance, is that even if the whole entire world wore this, everybody would smell different. Everybody would smell unique to themselves. And on top of that, let's say you have a weaker fragrance like, honestly, Visionaire didn't really perform that well. Like this, or even if Heures d'Absence isn't lasting as long as you would like it to, if you put Molecule 01 on top of it, it will just help the fragrance perform much better. Like, it really makes those fragrances shine to their truest potential. That's what I like about this, is it's great solo, but it's also great if you do want to layer it with other things. So beautiful, beautiful scent. And for myself, I've gotten comments like, I smell clean, I smell fresh, I smell like I just did laundry, or I'm wearing fresh laundry clothes. That's the type of compliment I got when I wore Molecule 01. Next up, we got a feminine fragrance here called Versace Bright Crystal. I talked about the Absolute in the other video, but the reason I put the original in this one is because when it comes to office wear, you don't really want to wear something that's very loud. And this kind of gets critiqued for not being the best in performance. But if you're wearing a fragrance to the office, I'm assuming that you're wearing it because you want to be able to smell yourself and you want to smell good, and you don't want to, you're not trying to wear something that's loud and obnoxious to get your coworkers' attention, because I'm pretty sure if your coworker was wearing a loud fragrance and you had to sit next to them the whole entire 8 hours, you'd be kind of pissed off. So this is just a nice scent that when you smell yourself, you know, you're walking around, you're like, damn, yeah, I smell so good. And it's a pomegranate fragrance. So it smells like pomegranate, lotus, and magnolia. So you get these gorgeous florals. And you know what's really interesting about Versace Bright Crystal? This is so fire. So what's interesting is that it has this icy, cool vibe in the opening of this fragrance. You know when you're chewing mint gum and then you drink ice cold water and it just feels super refreshing? There's just a little bit of that touch in the opening of this fragrance. And I just have to clarify, I'm not saying this is a minty scent by any means, but just that cooling feeling that you get. There's a scent, like, that is the first thing that I noticed when I wore this, is it's like, oh, this kind of, it's like icy, almost like icy cool. You know, not that it smells like ice, but it has that refreshing quality to it. But I really do love Versace Bright Crystal. I will say this is a super versatile fragrance. All of the ones that I've shown are, but this is a massive compliment getter as well. So let's say you carry a sample of this as your work fragrance, right? And you're done with your 8 hours, your 12 hours, whatever you're doing, and you have a date right after, or you're meeting with some friends going to the bar. When you reapply this is still going to work as like a sexy type of fragrance, most definitely. So it smells fantastic. All right, on the masculine side, well, actually, this is marketed as a masculine fragrance. It's Prada Long EDP, but I do find this to be very unisex because it smells like luxurious fabric softener. That's pretty much what I get from it. Now, in terms of notes, this is an iris fragrance, and that is what throws a lot of guys off, is because they're like, oh, iris is a floral. That's a floral dominant fragrance. Is that even masculine enough to wear? And to be honest, I mean, forget that entire mindset. As long as it smells good. And this is a really, really good smell. I will say all the women that have smelled this on me and all the women that have been in my DMs about this fragrance have never had anything negative to say. The only people that have anything negative to say about this scent have been guys complaining that there's no personality. And I get that, right? But you're not using your fragrance to make your personality. You have the personality and the fragrance just makes you smell good. So if you're relying on a scent to bring out your personality, then that's already kind of an issue, right? But this scent right here, just imagine you're just in a clean suit, or even if you're just like in a nice, you know, like a work, like skirt, like a dress, something like that. This is like a power, sexy, professional type of fragrance that I would see on like a CEO, you know, the type of person that visits the company every quarter just to make sure everything's running well. Everybody sees them and they're like, man, they're always dressed so nice. And then they always smell fantastic. So Prada Long just kind of has that sort of like high class smell to it, even though this isn't a niche fragrance, it's a designer scent that does the job and more. Now, all the ladies that have worn this off my recommendations have loved it. They've been turning heads. Even the guys that have worn this themselves, they have been enjoying it a lot, especially like they've been getting a lot of good attention. Now, I will say that Prada Long has great performance. Like you could still smell this past 6 hours and it is a pretty strong scent, like just kind of regardless to what majority of people will say out there online. Because when I first got this scent, I heard that it sucked in performance. And then I was surprised to find out that, holy shit, with the 5 sprays that I did, it was really projecting. This is something that had that scent trail. It had that really nice scent bubble, but it could be nauseating to people around you in an office environment. So let's say you're working in a high riser and you can't really open any windows. You don't want to be throwing a lot of sprays of this on and suffocating your coworkers. So just do a couple sprays of this scent and you will be fine for the whole day. Trust me. And the dry down is lovely as well. And also, it doesn't smell powdery. I hope my vacuum isn't going off right now, but if it is and you hear it in the background, I apologize. All right, next, a more feminine fragrance here. This is Mon Guerlain EDP. Now, this is a lavender vanilla fragrance that is so beautiful. This is like femininity in a bottle. Now, if you're thinking that Prada Long is too masculine for your taste and you're a woman watching this and you're like, I still want that, you know, like that boss type of scent that doesn't, you hear that? That doesn't, you know, that doesn't like get rid of the feminine aspect, then you rock with Mon Guerlain EDP. This just smells like a woman at her peak. It just smells like a very successful type of woman. And it's just so, so beautiful. Trust me, this is a scent that really is a head turner. In fact, I remember that my sister and I bought a bottle of it for my mom for like Mother's Day. And when she wears it, I remember that when she would walk into rooms, I would pick up on that smell before, like, and she's pretty far away from me. And I'd be like, oh man, yeah, that's really nice. Now, in terms of performance, not the best. We're talking under like 6 hours, but the first projection within those, well, in the initial wear, it's not, it projects pretty decently. All right. Next up, we have a unisex fragrance here called Oud Wood by Tom Ford. And this might be the fragrance on this list that people are kind of scratching their heads about, because they've heard that Oud Wood is more of a nighttime fragrance. And I see that, but this performs really well in general. I've worn this in the high heat. I've worn this on summer days. I've worn it in summer, like when you're in like AC'd rooms, which is typically what happens with a work environment. And it's so damn good. This scent right here doesn't smell like oud. It is not a powerful scent that is going to be so obnoxious, so loud. In fact, it smells just like an airy, woody fragrance, in my opinion. It smells like a bunch of fresh wood just blended together. Nothing like oud. But again, that's my opinion with it. And it just adds some uniqueness in comparison to a lot of the fragrances that you're going to smell in an office environment, or even fragrances you're going to smell in general. People don't tend to wear woody fragrances. They're going more for the fresh and clean, or those floral scents, or those sweet vanilla fragrances. So this is just for somebody that wants something a little bit more different. Okay, next up, we have a more masculine fragrance here called Legend Spirit by Mont Blanc. And this scent smells like fresh deodorant. It is just, it's a cheapie, all right? This is the cheapest fragrance on the list. I bought this for $35. Don't buy it for retail, because when I walked into Sephora, I saw this for like 85 bucks. And I was like, no, because I've seen that online for cheaper. So definitely get your hands on this at discount sites. Save yourself like the bottle of a typical designer fragrance, $35. It's probably worth $45 now, to be honest. But if you're thinking, well, wait a second, why would I get a fragrance that smells like deodorant if I already just have deodorant? And that's true, but I'm not gonna lie, there is something really addicting about this scent that I still have not been able to put my hands on or my nose on. I think maybe it's the simplicity of the fragrance that just does the job, because typically when it comes to mass appeal, the simpler the fragrance is, the better it is for a majority of people to like it. And again, when you're in the office, you want something that isn't gonna be bold, loud, different. You just want something that isn't gonna piss people off. And this is that scent. Now, let's say you're somebody that's an early bird, right? You like to go to the gym or get a workout in before work. You wake up at 5 in the morning and you want to spray on your fragrance. You could throw this on. Even while you work out, if you like, wearing a fragrance while you're exercising, you could still have this on. And then after you shower, throw this on again. It's going to smell great for work. It'll smell good when you're working out. It'll also smell good after work. So this is just an extremely versatile fragrance that's not going to break the bank. Now, in terms of performance, Legend Spirit is kind of like, I'm going to say it's more on the weak side. This is definitely something that maybe is in that 4 or 5 hour range. But again, for the price of it, it's really not that bad. And if you want to get Molecule 1, then boom, it lasts longer than that. Or you can just overspray it, but I don't suggest overspraying fragrances if you're going to the office, all right? Next up, we got a more unisex scent called Mandarin by Precious Liquid, and this smells like mandarin. It literally smells like orange, not super citrusy like orange juice, not like that, but kind of picture, you know those cuties, right? The baby oranges, just like peeling the rind of it and then just smelling that. That's kind of what mandarin reminds me of. Now, this is a scent that my girlfriend loves to wear, and I love when she wears it. To her, it smells like the pink doctor's soap. Remember that, but when your doctor's talking to you before they shove a stick in your mouth and they're like washing their hands with the pink soap? That is what she thinks that this smells like. But I love when she wears this because it's her go-to after a shower, and it's just so inviting. It's a fresh, cozy type of fragrance. It's something that you want to snuggle into. Even though this is a video about, work and being in the office, I do find this to be like a nice, lazy Sunday morning type of fragrance as well. Let's say you're not trying to get up that early, you're snuggling with your partner. It's maybe like 9:30, 10 in the morning, something like that. You guys are just rolling around in the white sheets, being intimate, not even in a sexual way, but like having deep conversations. This is just that type of beautiful fragrance. to me. So again, unisex. Now, for another unisex fragrance, we've got Gentle Fluidity Silver by MFK, and this is a boss scent right here. You know how I said that Prada Long kind of gives that CEO vibe? I would say Gentle Fluidity Silver does that as well. But if you're somebody that's complaining about personality, I think that Fluidity Silver has a little bit more personality than Prada Long EDT, because it's professional, but it's also sexy and unique. Typically, when people smell this for the first time, they have never smelled anything like it. They're blown away with it. And I get those comments all the time. And even when I was first wearing this scent, the people around me really loved it. This is something that would linger in the hallway. It's something that would have a nice scent trail. And it's just a head-turning type of fragrance. So be careful with the sprays on it. But it kind of gave me like, you know, just Christian Grey vibes in general. And again, ladies, you could easily throw this on. It's just like a boss fragrance. That's what I'll say, a boss fragrance. All right, in terms of performance, I could still smell this past 7 hours, no problem. But typically I was doing like 3 to 5 sprays of it. And I would say in the office, you can do maybe go less than 3, to be totally honest with you. All right, next we've got a masculine scent here called Ralph Lauren Ultra Blue, or Ralph Polo Ultra Blue. This used to be my dad's fragrance. My mom got it for him like years ago. And he hardly wears it because I forgot to get that one. I knew it. I forgot to get Creed Green Irish Tweed. Yeah, that would have been in this video for sure. But Ultra Blue by Polo is just, honestly, your typical modern type of fragrance. Like, Polo is a scent that a lot of Filipino uncles like to throw on, this and Bleu de Chanel. But it just screams guy at work. Guy working in office. If that is all you need, then just get this fragrance right here. It's fresh and clean. There is nothing bad about this scent at all. It's so squeaky clean to a point that it would just piss people off that it's not giving anything else. You know what I mean? So if you're a simple person just wanting to smell good and nothing more than that, and just throw on Ultra Blue by Polo. And lastly, we got a unisex fragrance here called Silver Mountain Water by Creed. And this is a unique type of fragrance as well. Let's say you kind of liked what I was saying with Oud Wood. It's not your typical freshie. And well, Oud Wood's not. Depending on how you wear it, I found that to be pretty fresh smelling in the summertime. Most people don't wear it in the summer though. They wear it at nighttime. So they haven't unlocked that sort of smell of it yet. But I would say if you want a more interesting freshie, then go with Silver Mountain Water because it smells like nature. It smells like you just went on a hike and then you're sitting by a waterfall. That is the whole vibe of this fragrance right here. And it's gorgeous. This is a very crisp type of scent. I would see this best suited, let's say you're wearing your white dress shirt, you know, your button up, your button down, just that type of scent, you know, and it's beautiful. Like, this is something that every single time I have worn it around people, it doesn't get hate. The only person that has had something negative to say about this was my girlfriend when she just thought that it was too safe or too basic. But again, we're talking work fragrances here. And I disagree with her in that regard because I like, you know, it's not in comparison to what you're going to smell around you. You're not really going to smell Silver Mountain Water or fragrances that smell like this. You know what I mean? It's still a safe scent, but it has a bit of that uniqueness to it. You know, it has a bit of a nature vibe, and some people really like that. And sometimes when you're at work, you don't want to just be smelling, you know, like your office, because we all know that carpet sort of smell. And if you're somebody that's more of an outdoorsy person and you've got a fragrance that reminds you of nature and being outdoors, it might motivate you to just, I don't know, make the time go by faster. But anyways, there it is. These are fragrances that are perfect for the office. Let me know what you are wearing for, you know, your office rendezvous. And again, the discount link for all of these is going to be in the comment section, going to be in the description box below. All right. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.